Is it lungs or a hornet's nest? Zhejiang man diagnosed with 557 lung nodules. Shaanxi requires reporting for returning home during the Chinese New Year, sparks criticism. Guangzhou installs foreign language signs in 11 locations, confusing both locals and foreigners. Overcapacity sparks massive layoffs in China's photovoltaic industry, jeopardizing projects. Jianchao poised to be foreign minister. Expert says she fears repeat of Qin Gang situation. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Is it lungs or a hornet's nest? Zhejiang man diagnosed with 557 lung nodules. Recently, there has been a surge in cases of lung nodules in China, with patients becoming younger, leading to speculation about a connection to COVID-19. According to Red Star News, on January 11, Mr. Hu, a 37-year-old from Shaanxi, Zhejiang, was shocked when doctors discovered 557 ground glass nodules in his lungs during a medical examination. After a comprehensive examination, doctors concluded that he likely had early-stage lung cancer. Dr. Yao Kellen, deputy director of the radiology department at Shaanxi Wenli College-affiliated hospital, said, "In all my years of practice, I have never encountered a case with over 500 nodules, especially all being ground glass nodules." Mr. Hu exclaimed, "I had no idea there would be so many." Many netizens on Weibo expressed shock, with comments such as, "My goodness, that's terrifying. Is this lungs or a hornet's nest? This is too scary." Since COVID-19, I've noticed many more cases of lung nodules around me. Similarly, according to Xinjiang Evening News on December 5, 2023, a 29-year-old woman named Xiao Chen, working as an office clerk in a company in Linping, Hangzhou, was recently diagnosed with cancer with a nearly 5 cm lung nodule in her right lung upper lobe. On January 10, Xinjiang Evening News reported another case, a 25-year-old Zhejiang girl named Xiao Zhang, who, after surgery, was confirmed to have lung adenocarcinoma. Xiao Zhang, an accountant in a Hangzhou company, had a 10 by 6 mm mixed ground glass nodule in the left lower lobe. A January 30 article by Xinhua Family pointed out that Dr. Hu Yang, deputy chief physician of the respiratory department at Shanghai Pulmonary Hospital, stated that there are approximately 120 million lung nodule patients in China, and 1 in 10 lung nodule patients progresses to early-stage lung cancer. The article mentioned that this ratio is indeed alarming, with age significantly increasing the risk of cancer. According to a report by China News on October 28, 2023, academician Zhong Nanshan mentioned at the 2023 5th China Physician Public Welfare Conference in Guangzhou, "I specialize in chest and lung diseases, and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease is a significant health impact on the people. We have nearly 100 million patients in our country, of which 95% are in stage 1 or 2, and the rest are in stage 3 or 4. Weibo account CY Dr. Haxican stated, "Recently, there has been an increase in inquiries about lung nodules." Additionally, there are claims among Chinese netizens across China that the increasing number of lung nodules is associated with COVID-19 and Chinese vaccines, although medical experts have not confirmed such a link. Shaanxi requires reporting for returning home during the Chinese New Year, sparks criticism. Recently, a community in Yang County, Shaanxi, issued a notice requiring individuals returning home for the Chinese New Year to register, warning of possible reporting to judicial authorities for non-compliance. The notice, dated January 8, states that, following instructions from the county committee and government, daily inspections will be conducted for all individuals returning to Yang County from January 8 to February 20. Participants are required to register with the community by 3:30 p.m. daily, and the community will report to the local judicial office by 4 p.m. Information requested includes the return date to Yang County, personal details, work locations outside the county, and the reason for returning. The notice emphasizes that failure to register will result in the individual bearing all responsibilities and consequences. Serious cases may be reported to judicial authorities, with accountability for community leaders. Officials from the Zhaifang Street office in Yang County stated that the notice aims to ensure safety, and, in response to questions about the legality of requiring registration for those returning home, they mentioned it falls under community self-governance. The incident has sparked public criticism. Residents of Shaanxi criticized the requirement, stating that people returning home shouldn't have to register, comparing it to treating individuals like fugitives. They argued that personal privacy is being violated, expressing frustration with the lack of privacy in the eyes of the Communist Party. Under public pressure, on January 9, the Zhejiang Street office in Yang County acknowledged a deviation in understanding by community staff and lax oversight by community leaders, leading to adverse effects. Consequently, they ordered the community to retract the notice. In response, some netizens commented that the retraction order may not change the situation much, likening it to the Fengqiao experience, suggesting that authorities may try to implement such measures more discreetly. Others pointed out that the notice was issued based on instructions from the county committee and government, and the retraction may be an attempt to avoid public backlash. Guangzhou installs foreign language signs in 11 locations, confusing both locals and foreigners. GuangDong, a province with a quarter of the nation's total import and export trade, has announced new regulations requiring 11 public places, including airports, train stations, and buses, to display signage in both Chinese and a foreign language starting from February 1. The regulations aim to improve foreign language accessibility but have raised concerns and confusion among the public. On January 4, the Guangzhou Municipal People's Congress Standing Committee issued a notice, highlighting the need for bilingual signs in government service centers, emergency shelters, transportation hubs, medical facilities, libraries, international areas, and more. The regulations specify that foreign language signage should accompany standard Chinese characters and provide information on names, directions, warnings, and other relevant content. Regarding concerns raised by citizens about the use of Hanyu Pinyin, Chinese romanization, for road signs in the city, the head of the Guangzhou Municipal People's Congress Standing Committee's Legal Work Committee clarified that T-shaped road signs commonly seen on city roads, indicating the names of roads, are considered place names. The romanized spelling of place names follows the regulations on the administration of place names and related national standards, using Hanyu Pinyin. In recent years, a phenomenon has emerged in mainland China where English signage is practically non-existent or not visible to foreigner. For example, during the translation of the Third China-Tibet-Himalaya Circle International Cooperation Forum held in Nyingchi, Tibet, from October 4 to 6, 2023, the English translation for Tibet was not Tibet but the Hanyu Pinyin Zhejiang. In August 2023, a directional sign at exit 3 of the Wulangshan station on line 2 of the Nanchang Metro in Jiangxi was found to have misspelled China as Qian in the English translation of Nanchang, China, New Garden. In July of the previous year, a report from the paper highlighted multiple English spelling errors on a China Postal Savings Bank sign in Hunchun City, Jilin Province. China Post was incorrectly written as Sina Post, and Postal Savings Bank of China was misspelled as Tosal Savan GSBANK of China. Additionally, around 2022, discussions on the new translation standard for Beijing subway station names gained attention on various online platforms. Many mainland netizens posted pictures, noting that many subway stations in China had generally replaced English translations with Hanyu Pinyin. For example, the newly opened Line 11 of the Beijing subway in 2021 replaced the English station with the Hanyu Pinyin Zhan 4 signage. The phrase "to international airport" was translated into English as Tiogo Zhejiang. Regarding this, common opinion among mainland residents is that replacing English with Pinyin not only causes confusion but also raises concerns about whether this implies a shift toward cultural isolation and conservatism. Commentator Wei Xing commented frankly on Radio Free Asia, saying, "Nowadays, many Hanyu Pinyin signs in mainland China do not strictly follow national standards for writing in Hanyu Pinyin. It seems decorative and does not provide any help to the Chinese people." He also mentioned that different regions in China often create laughable situations with the expression of Hanyu Pinyin and corresponding English. Chinese-style English highlights the lack of professional understanding and translation skills of local officials. Overcapacity sparks massive layoffs in China's photovoltaic industry, jeopardizing projects. China's photovoltaic industry is grappling with overcapacity, leading to reports of project delays and widespread layoffs, causing concerns about the potential abandonment of numerous projects. According to statistics from the China Photovoltaic Industry Association, the industry's supply-side capacity reached 1,003 gigawatts in 2023, almost double the market demand of approximately 550 gigawatts. This surplus has triggered significant price drops across the entire photovoltaic industry chain, with silicon material prices plummeting by over 70% and component prices hitting historic lows. According to the industry media Polar Star Solar PV Network in China, a large number of photovoltaic projects in China have been delayed since October of the previous year, covering almost all aspects of the photovoltaic industry chain, including industrial silicon, polycrystalline silicon, photovoltaic cell equipment R&D, and distributed photovoltaic power stations. Statistics show that many photovoltaic companies, including Daquan Energy, Jingshan Light Machinery, Inner Mongolia Ouyang Technology Company, Limited, and Ninghui Technology, have announced project delays, including projects that signed strategic cooperation framework agreements with local governments. Reports suggest that the wave of delays is mainly influenced by factors such as market conditions and supply-demand relationships, reflected in significant price fluctuations in the current photovoltaic industry chain and changes in industrial and commercial operations and electricity load. The industry's aggressive expansion under policy guidance has not only led to overcapacity but also triggered a wave of layoffs and high debts for photovoltaic companies. Amid the industry's winter, news of layoffs is rampant. Phoenix Net reported that LONGi Green Energy, the world's largest photovoltaic component supplier, confirmed the layoffs, attributing them to normal organizational optimization. According to China Huaxia Energy Network statistics, as of the end of September 2023, a total of 118 photovoltaic companies had a combined total debt of a staggering 1.76 trillion yuan, with 24 companies having a debt ratio exceeding 70% and 4 companies exceeding 90%. In addition to overcapacity and severe product homogeneity, the Chinese photovoltaic industry also faces significant uncertainty in overseas markets. In the past year, the new policies introduced by European and American countries have all shown concern about relying on the Chinese supply chain for the new energy industry. Building an independent supply chain has become the consensus of these countries. Liu Jianchao poised to be foreign minister? Expert says she fears repeat of Qin Gang situation. Liu Jianchao, head of the International Liaison Department, visits the U.S., sparking speculation about his appointment as foreign minister. Liu Jianchao, 59, has served as the spokesperson for the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs, ambassador to the Philippines, ambassador to Indonesia, assistant foreign minister, and later worked at the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection and in Zhejiang. In 2018, he returned to the Central Foreign Affairs Office, serving as Deputy Director and Executive Deputy Director of the Foreign Affairs Office, before being appointed head of the International Liaison Department on June 2, 2022. He is a member of the 20th Central Committee. Chen Bingkue, Associate Professor of the Department of Diplomacy at Taiwan's National Chengchi University, stated on January 10 that Liu Jianchao could become the new foreign minister, as his recent visit to the U.S. demonstrates Xi Jinping's trust in him. In addition to Wang Yi, who holds the deputy national-level position and concurrently serves as foreign minister, there are currently 3 senior officials at the ministerial level in the upper echelons of the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs, including Liu Jianchao, Secretary of the Party Committee of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Qi Yu, and Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs in charge of Daily Affairs Ma Chaoxiu. Independent commentator Kai Shinkuan posted an analysis on a platform, stating that 63-year-old Qi Yu, a native of Shaanxi, is a confidant trusted by Xi Jinping. However, he has no understanding of diplomatic affairs and only represents Xi Jinping to supervise the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Therefore, he cannot take over the position of foreign minister. Ma Chaoxiu, 1 year older than Liu Jianchao, has extensive experience in multilateral diplomacy and work with Europe. However, neither of them has been in charge of work with the US or Japan, which is a crucial aspect of the foreign minister's responsibilities. Kai Shinku said, Qin Gang had accumulated experience in the US before being promoted to state counselor and foreign minister. Liu Jianchao's high-profile visit to the U.S. suggests that he will take over China's diplomatic affairs. During Liu Jianchao's visit to the U.S., on January 9, he presented a friendly gesture towards the U.S., emphasizing that Beijing is not seeking to reshape the world order but hopes to strengthen cooperation with the United States. He also said, "I really don't believe there has always been a kind of wolf-warrior diplomacy, and there is no talk of returning to this diplomatic approach." In recent times, the atmosphere within the Chinese Communist Party's foreign affairs system has been delicate. In addition to the previous foreign minister Qin Gang already having an accident, former deputy foreign minister Liu Yuqing, who once advocated for an unlimited Sino-Russian relationship, was transferred to become deputy director of the State Administration of Radio, Film, and Television in June of the previous year and retired promptly at the age of 60 in July. Zhao Lijian, deputy director of the Information Department of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who had sharp remarks, was transferred to become deputy director of the Border and Maritime Affairs Department about a year ago and has been silent for a long time. Li Zhengxiu, military expert and deputy researcher at the National Policy Research Foundation of Taiwan, stated on January 10 that the Chinese Communist Party has its own system for training foreign affairs personnel, but this system was disrupted after Xi Jinping took office. Because Xi did not have much trust in the previous training methods, he imposed his personal will on the foreign affairs system, causing a situation of a large-scale purge and a shortage of personnel in the entire foreign affairs system. He said, "If we follow their previous arrangements, basically people at the lower levels could gradually take over." However, because of Xi Jinping's personal preferences, the training pace of the entire foreign affairs system has been disrupted. As an example, Qin Gang was not supposed to take over the position of foreign minister so quickly. As a result, he was promoted out of sequence, but she did not anticipate that Qin Gang would run into trouble so quickly. Wang Yi temporarily took over, and this had a significant impact both domestically and internationally. Chen Bingkue, associate professor, believes that she may let Wang Yi continue to oversee the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for a period of time until the internal cleansing of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is completed and high-level officials express their loyalty to Xi before deciding on the candidate. Xi fears the emergence of another Qin Gang. He needs to be careful not to use the wrong person again, which could affect his position within the party. Qin Gang's resignation was so secretive and low-key, indicating that she did not want the outside world to know the details of Qin Gang's scandal. These details might be unfavorable to his rule. Similarly, he has to be extra cautious in appointing a new foreign minister. Li Zhengxiu expressed that the selection of the foreign minister candidate may also involve a dark horse. The more likely candidates mentioned by the outside world, the more likely they will be excluded in the end. She is now looking for someone who can faithfully implement his policies. However, it is difficult to say whether he can find someone considered loyal. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.